What's going on, hustlers? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, happy to have you. For those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Day Cantave. I've won over $3 million in federal contracts and fulfilled over 120 contracts, all at the age of 21. So today we're going to be discussing how to mitigate risk in government contracting. So you're doing business with the federal government. Everything's going great, you got your business set up, you're working your tail off, you finally get that first contract, and then let's say you fulfill it, everything goes smoothly, and now you've got a nice conveyor belt of contracts, and you built up like a very strong reputation, right? And you know how long it takes to build up that reputation, but you're even more self-aware of the fact that it could be gone just like that if you screw up. So today we're going to be talking about how to protect it, what are some steps that you can take to mitigate the risk, preserve your reputation, and not only just how other people perceive you, but also, you know, your business. Make sure you don't get dinged for anything. Protect your SPUR score, your supplier performance risk system score. It's like that report card that the government gives you for doing business with them. So first thing, this is just kind of like a law of business, but you'd be surprised at how many people don't do this, because you can get away with getting a lot of things over the phone. Like you're pounding the pavement, you're making the phone calls, you're doing as I recommend you guys to do. People don't get stuff in writing. You'll call somebody up, call your vendor, and they'll be like, yeah, I can give you this. The pricing and the availability is XYZ. And then you'll go ahead, you'll submit your bid, you think everything is great, you're getting it from the approved source or an authorized distributor, it's sexy, you're feeling confident, and then you win the contract a week, 2, 3, 4 weeks later, and then you call them back and they're like, I'm sorry, but that person no longer works here. Or, I'm sorry, but that person is sick today, and I don't know why they would have given you that price because it's currently this price. So to mitigate that, you have to get everything in writing, and that doesn't go just exclusively for your interactions with your vendors, but also for your interactions with contracting officers as well. Guys, they're human too. They make mistakes. I can't tell you how many times I've had my tail saved because I've been able to be like, listen, this is the paper trail of the email conversation that I had with Mr. Joe Blow over in Ohio, and they told me that this was acceptable, thus why I don't believe I should be getting penalized. And they always accept it because I can prove it, right? So the next thing that you've got to do, and this is quite important, especially as you start to deal with larger manufacturers, verify all the cage codes that you're getting your quotes from. My favorite example that I like to use for this is Boeing. I'm an aviation guy. Boeing has so many cage codes. They have cage codes specifically for different components of the aircraft. Like the fuselage people, the people that make the body of the plane, they have one cage code. The people that make the landing gear, which is what I sold, they have their own cage code. The people that make all the windows, they have their own cage code. So please make sure when you're making these phone calls, you're reaching out to companies, you are verifying the address of the cage code that you're getting the quote from. That's the easiest way to make sure you're getting it from the correct approved source. That's probably the fastest way to do it. Now, the next thing that you've got to do to mitigate your risk is you've got to be tracking your bids. And I don't mean like tracking your metrics, but I mean tracking what it is that you're bidding on. I cannot tell you how many instances I have where clients are like, oh yeah, I submitted this and I want it. And I'm like, okay, awesome, sweet, let's take a look at it. And then we look and I see they have submitted a bid for the wrong solicitation. So the pricing might have been similar, but it's for like a completely different product, and they underpriced themselves as opposed to, you know, what their competitors were doing. And I'm like, how did this happen? They're like, oh, well, I was working on this solicitation so much that I was positive I had the last 5 characters of it ingrained in my memory. There was no way that I could have made a mistake. And then lo and behold, they made a mistake and they submitted a bid for the wrong item. So to help you guys with that, I'm a big advocate of getting a proper CRM. So Lucy is the best CRM on the market. Roll the clip.
Have you heard of Lucy yet? The best all-in-one software for DLA suppliers.
Let's look at the top Lucy features. AI-powered and advanced searching and filtering. Use one-click copy to easily copy all contract details into the CRM. Save hours with pre-filled quote request emails. Automatically calculate bid price and profits. Advanced CRM and bid management features. Save time and do 10x more bids with Lucy. Use the links below to get your 7-day free trial or join an upcoming free webinar.
I believe Lucy is the best CRM on the market, especially at the price point. It's the best bang for your buck. Now, not only do you have to be tracking your bids, but you also have to print everything. you have to print every single piece of correspondence that's relevant to the contract that you're fulfilling. One, because it's good quality assurance, and two, it helps when you're fulfilling your checklist, which we provide you guys. So if you're looking for standard operating procedures and quality assurance stuff and checklist, click the link down below, book a call, speak with our team. We give you guys all of that stuff. But it's actually a FAR, a Federal Acquisition Regulation, that you have to have at least a physical copy of all the required documentation that you use to supplement the contract. What I mean by that is you've got to be printing out, your vendor quote, your sales order, your purchase order. If you had a reval, like a request for evaluation or a request for traceability that the contracting officer sent you, you've got to have that. You got to be printing out your DSSS VSM packing slips, and then your MIL 129 standard marking labels, etc., etc. So you have to be printing out all of those things and storing them at the very least in a file cabinet. Ideally, you want to be printing them as well as uploading them into a cloud or on a hard drive or a server or something like that. But at the bare minimum, you have to be printing everything so you have a physical paper trail. This next one is a really important one that I'm surprised a lot of people don't talk about more on YouTube, but part of our quality assurance that we do at Two Lines Aerospace, and again, we give you guys all the checklists and the step-by-step guides on what to do to make sure you're fulfilling the contracts properly, is you have to be taking pictures of your product. So the moment that it comes to you, I'm talking about like, you haven't even taken it out from the box. You just got the box and you see that it has your name and your company address on it. You need to be opening that box, taking pictures of the material in the box and how it's packaged. Then you remove the packaging, taking pictures. And then once you set it out on the table, you take pictures of it in all different angles. I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten something that's been damaged and then you have to submit an RMA, which is a return material authorization form, back to your vendor, and they will replace it for you, oftentimes though, not happily, and they're gonna be like, oh, well, how do we know you didn't damage it? That's why you gotta have pictures so you can be like, listen, bro, I took pictures of every single step of me opening this parcel or this package, right? So when you have that, it's very easy to reach out to your vendor and then just be like, yo, I need to submit an RMA. You guys gotta send me a new one because you banged it up. Subsequently, when you ship to DLA, you gotta take pictures of it as you're packaging it and putting it in the box. And the biggest reason for that is when the government's paying for shipping, if you can prove that the material was undamaged when you shipped it to them and then it got damaged because of their freight forwarder, you are now absolved of any responsibility. So please, guys, make sure you're taking pictures of your product. If you watch all the way to the end, thank you so much for sticking around. Hope to hear from you guys using the link down below. Not only am I looking forward to your success, I'm absolutely sure of it. Let's go print those dollars. See you next time.